it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I'm up today with a layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. And we are also using this sketch, or I'm using this sketch, which is by, I think it's by Laura Rumble, and it is part of the Stick It Down blog. They do a challenge every month. It's a sketch challenge. And they provide 3 sketches. So one's a double page sketch, a single page sketch, and I think they do a sketch for a card as well. So one of the sketches was a circle design, and I have decided to use it. So the Confessions of a Paper Addict is actually the sponsor for the month of October at Stick It Down Sketches. So I will leave the link to the Stick It Down blog down below, as well as obviously to all the Confessions of a Paper Addict stuff. You can see what I've used, and you can also link to the blog in case you want to play along. They have awesome prizes and different sketches each month. So yeah, definitely go and check them out. So I have used 2 cut files. I think this one's called Leafy Wreath, and this other one that I'm sticking down on top of it I think is called Daisy Chain. And they were both, I believe, recent releases last month in the Florals week that Virginia did, and so I've decided to use them because they're circle elements, and that was the big part of the sketch this month. So I've layered the Leafy Wreath and the Daisy Chain on top of one another, and I've hung it over the page slightly and cut off the excess. So the Leafy Wreath I actually cut out in a green cardstock, just something that I had in my stash, whereas the Daisy Chain I cut out in white. Now if you look closely, the white didn't cut out particularly well. I actually used a really, really thick cardstock that I haven't used before for the cut files, and it doesn't do a very good job. So I won't be using that again to cut out things. It's fabulous. I'm using it as my background piece, and it's fabulous as a background piece because it's really thick. It keeps its shape really well, and it's really easy to work with. So I'll definitely be still using the paper. Don't panic. I just won't be using it to cut anything. And I'm also using the Chasing Butterflies collection from Rosie Studio, which you can buy in Australia in the Reject Shop, and it's branded as the Craft Stall, but it's the same products. And it's just a really nice, fun kind of pastel-y collection, lots of sort of watercolour. And actually the 12 by 12 piece that I'm backing this layout on is from the Briarwood collection as well. So the one thing I don't like about Rosie Studio is it's the really thin paper that you used to get way back in the day when well, not we all, but if you started scrapbooking many years ago, you'll remember the thin paper. That's what the Rosie Studio cardstock is. So that's the only downside I find to their products. The die cut packs though, holy cow, you get like 160 pieces in their ephemera packs because you get 2 of each of the pieces. It's just phenomenal. So yes, a little bit goes a long way with the Rosie Studio collections. At least I assume they're packaged the same when you buy direct from them, but that's certainly what you get when you buy them from the Reject Shop in Australia. So what am I doing now? Oh, I'm backing my photo. So I'm backing my photo just using the same papers that I backed some of the flowers with. So the only reason I actually backed the flowers on the Daisy Chain cut file, which is the white one, is because I knew I wanted to pop it up on top of the leaf cut file, and to do that I needed to have something that I could stick the foam dots to. So I sort of covered, I think maybe 10 of the flowers, and that was it. The rest I just left plain with nothing on them, no backing. So what I will say is you don't have to back cut files. I know you see a lot of us on the design team and we back our cut files, and you know they look beautiful backed, they really do, but they can be just as effective when you don't back them, particularly if you've cut them out in white cardstock and you're using them on a pattern paper background, so the white really pops out. Or conversely, like I just did before with the green wreath, if you cut out your cut file on patterned paper and then you're putting it onto white cardstock or a light background, a contrasting background, that can really stand out too. So don't think you have to back your cut files, you most certainly don't. I just personally like the look of them backed, but I have been known to leave them plain on occasion. In fact, I did a video in the month of September where I didn't back one of my cut files. Actually, it was for the sketch challenge layout that I did in September. So yeah, definitely I don't always back my cut files. Now, I'm popping up my photos Yes, that's what I'm doing now. And I'm going to commit to the placement of my photo. And then I'm going to think about my title. Well, I know what my title is. It's over there to the right. It says love. In the love heart, the word love is written. You might not be able to see that. And then the word today, which I was talking through it, but you might have seen that I cut off it. The today word was actually kind of contained within a ticket. In the word thicker, and I didn't like the ticket shape. It wasn't kind of relevant to this layout. So they are actually, the thickers are from, if I can find my pack, they're from a travel collection. What are they called? They are called Let's Go. And they are a gold thicker, but they're more of like a yellow gold. Yeah, they're not a bright gold. Does that make sense? It's not making sense. Like a brownie gold. I don't know. But they're certainly, different colour to, say, the gold Heidi Swap Colour Shine, which I still add to this layout. But they're not quite the same. So I'm trying to make this title work. You will have seen me faff around and place it here, there and everywhere. I decided on my placement, but I decided that I didn't want the thickers to be joined with each other. So like they were... There was the bottom of the ticket I hadn't cut off, so the word today was kind of joined together. So I actually cut all those letters off separately, and I have added those down, and I decided to place my title in the bottom left inside of the wreath. And I knew that I would be embellishing around it so it wouldn't look like it was too out of place down there. So as I said, I'm using the Chasing Butterflies collection from Rosie Studio, and I'm just placing some of the die cuts around my wreath, just to create, I don't know, add some extra florals, make it nice and bright. Although they are sort of more muted colours, they are still bright. Can they be muted and bright? Is that a thing? Is that an oxymoron? I don't know. But they are, yes, they're sort of a watercolour look, the florals, but they are a kind of a brighter colour palette, which is nice. Now, they had a cute kite, and I thought, I'm just going to add it onto this layout. It's a bit of a fun, whimsical layout. The photo's nothing special. I mean, it's a photo of my son and I. It's a nice photo, but it's not a particular moment. It's not, documenting a specific memory. It was just a nice selfie that I snapped of my son and I that I really wanted to scrapbook. So I did. And so I thought the kite's cute. I knew there were some clouds here that I'm putting them down now that I wanted to use. So I figured the kite kind of worked with that, and I add it. There's cute little animals that I'm adding. So there's a few butterflies, there's some ladybugs and a bird. So I scatter those around the wreath as well as some leaves and florals. And I think that's it. So, oh no, and some tiny words. That's right. That's what I'm getting at now. So there's 3 tiny words, I guess, or tiny phrases. One of them is a phrase. 2 of them are just single words. One says loved, one says charming, and one says this is us. So I just put 3 of those within the clusters. Now there's more than 3 clusters on this wreath because I sort of spread things around the wreath, but I kind of evened out where I put my clusters, and I'm really happy with it. I decided to add a little bit of twine. This is white and gold. I don't use twine very often, but I have a decent amount of it. Not a lot, but I have a little bit of it, and I thought I should just start using it. Kind of, it's not really my channeling my inner Missy Widden because I believe she uses like machine thread, so it's much finer. But you know, that's who I was feeling when I decided to add twine, I'll be honest. So I do edit most of this part out because I'm just going to stick all the embellishments down exactly where you see them, but I wanted to leave that part in because I did add the twine, and I add it in 2 other places on my layout as well. So there's kind of 3 places where the twine is. And I'm really happy with how that turned out, but I do edit out the sticking down part of everything else because really it's exactly where I've placed it now. I just leave it the same. So there you go, sticking down the last cloud by the power of editing, and then all I'm doing is adding some Heidi Swap Colour Shining Gold, and we are finished. This was actually a quick layout to put together. I know it doesn't really seem like it, but it was. I had an idea in my head of what I wanted, and it worked. So I was really happy with it. So don't forget to go and check out Stick It Down Sketches. Virginia and the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cut File Shop are sponsoring for the month of October, and you can win an awesome prize pack. So definitely go and check them out and enter and complete their sketches. It's a fun little website. I wasn't as familiar with it, but now that I found it, I was like, oh, they do monthly challenges. That's amazing. So definitely go and check them out, and go and check out the files that I used from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye guys.